The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
What up, Cowboys Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign here in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Aisha Morrison and Christy Scales in the studio with me today. How y'all doing?
All right.
Good. That's it?
Yeah. Great.
That's it?
2-game win streak. Let's go.
Yeah.
Y'all sound dead. You know what time it is?
Oh, my God. She's about
What
to
time
do
is
it.
it?
Oh, my God.
It's time to wake up.
It's a lot more. It's not as bad coming through the recording than when you actually scream it at us.
Really?
Yeah.
I just feel like y'all need some energy. You know, I'm here to bring it. I'm here to bring it all for you guys. But first, we're going to run through this update on the injuries that Mike McCarthy gave us yesterday, just a real fast because the players are off today. So, of course, no practice. Wanye Thomas, he had the meniscus issue with, from the game against the Giants. So he'll be out for 2 to 3 weeks. CeeDee Lamb, Mike McCarthy said that he will be assessed on Wednesday. Josh Butler, of course, is done for the season with an ACL injury. He will need surgery. Tyler Guyton, of course, suffering the high ankle sprain against the Giants. And you remember he was nursing the shoulder injury from previous weeks. He will be with the rehab group per Mike McCarthy. Zach Martin will get some work in with the rehab group on Wednesday. Trayvon Diggs, Mike McCarthy's hopeful that he will be getting in some work this week. And Jake Ferguson, Mike McCarthy is very optimistic that he is close to becoming back. And DeMarcus Lawrence, he said that he has to hit another threshold before he comes back, per Mike McCarthy as well. But let's talk about Josh Butler. Him coming off of the couple of games that he had, and then to see his season come to an end like that, just what kind of a hit is this to the secondary?
I mean, at this point, I feel like you've gone through so much that it's like you just kind of roll with the punches until the end of the year. I mean, it's just, unfortunately, the position group that has just gotten hit when you talk about the defensive line and then the secondary. But I think it is, again, just another opportunity for, like, we saw Josh Butler step up. They were rotating he and Israel Mukuamu out. So I would assume that maybe well, actually, no. Depending on what happens with Diggs, we don't know. But we think we would see Israel Mukuamu step up and be able to play in that position. And we talked about it, is like, with the season where it is, you know, these guys are playing for, you know, they're playing for their lives. Like, they are. Like, they're playing for, you know, obviously for the team, but they're also playing to make sure, like, that they're putting good film on, film out there. So, for me, it's just like, I'm really hurting for Josh Butler. I really simply empathize with him because we got to see, like, that he got a shot, you know, and he performed well, and I'm sure he's proud of that. But to see it happen that way was very disheartening. So, wishing him a well recovery.
Yeah, you knew that it was bad just from the sideline perspective, the way that he grasped for that knee right away, and you knew it wasn't going to be good. And, you know, we talk about corners, but safety as well. You know, Marquise Bell and now Wanye Thomas. So the depth there is an issue as well. But it would be interesting to see if Oruwariye will be able to start working back. Yeah. You know, maybe a couple more weeks before maybe you can see him get a couple games at the end of the season and kind of see him later in the year. Know what you have with him moving forward. And then Hall, right, he's already been elevated a couple times, so he'll probably be added to the 53-man roster once you have that opening, once Josh is put on the IR. And it was really interesting on Thursday because Andrew Booth, who had started a game earlier in the year and then basically lost his job. He had gotten benched in the second half of the game and then didn't really see the field after that. He was actually elevated from the practice squad and yet declared inactive for the game. So they wasted one of his practice squad elevations, but you wonder if he may be added to the 53-man roster as well.
Do you think that he should be added to the 53-man roster?
Not before Hall.
Yeah.
And the other thing is Hall has, well, I guess they both in a pinch. Hall played inside in the slot, particularly in the preseason. And so what I imagine that you would have if Diggs is not back, your starters would be Bland and Lewis on the outside. And then when you go into a nickel situation, then Mukwamo would come in that situation. So we'll see. And Hall would be the backup.
It sucks because you really haven't seen a true, like, outside cornerback tandem just yet for this team.
No, and that was going to be one
really
of the strengths
sucks.
coming in for the season. You know, 2 real ball hawks there. And, you know, we talk about how it's been deficient in terms of the takeaways this year. Well, you didn't have Bland until the last couple of games, and then you didn't have him with Diggs, and Diggs has missed time as well. So, and you haven't had a pass rush to help with the, you know, with the errant throws that those ball hawks can pick up. So it's a real domino effect for sure.
For sure. And going back to Josh Butler, I'm looking at his contract situation too. I believe it ends in 2026, if I'm reading this correctly. So, and you always think about like the year that they come back. So it'd be next year around this time, pretty much. It sucks and it's unfortunate for him just because like he really won't have much time to really show what he can do. Granted, you saw what he can do the last couple of games, but you won't really get a true
bigger sample size.
Bigger sample size of what he's capable of. So I do feel for Josh Butler. But moving on to the offensive side of the ball, in absence of Tyler Guyton going down in the first quarter against the Giants, Chuma Edoga stepping in, and aside from that penalty, did y'all like what y'all saw from Chuma Edoga? You got to see a little bit more. What's y'all's thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy. He looked like a guy that hadn't played football in a while. But Chuma Edoga is a veteran. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think that what I've seen from him specifically in the run game is better at left guard. But he is a left tackle that can come in and fill in. I thought that they did some good things in the run game, and he's a little clunky because he hasn't played football in a while. But
What
other
you mean
than
by
that, clunky, just the feet.
Oh, okay.
You know, just the feet. Like, I feel like, and honestly, I felt like that was some of, like, his little tantrum he was having. Whatever he was doing is, again, like, his body, he probably wants to do certain things, but he can't do them just yet. Because there is conditioning in being an offensive lineman as well, right? And so I think that he can use this time to kind of build what he has, and with the absence of, but I will say, I'm not sure if Austin Richards was healthy, if that wouldn't be Austin Richards out there. Because I do feel like Austin Richards showed you some things that, like, was like, okay, this guy could possibly be your potential swing, because he's a draft pick. He's not some guy that they just picked up, you know what I'm saying? And I know that they paid Chuma Edoga, but what I think that they brought in Chuma to help with the transition for Austin as he developed. So to me, I do think that Austin Richards may have had the shot, but Chuma's out there right now, and he seems to have a good feel for what they're doing in the run game. He's not bad against the pass either.
So do you feel like when Austin gets healthy again, you feel like it'll just be a Tyler Guyton, Austin Richards situation?
Well, I mean, we can't forget about, and it was brought to my attention the other day, we can't forget about Nathan Thomas out of Louisiana, left tackle. I believe he was dealing with the foot. It wasn't plantar fasciitis. It was something else. And this is a guy that, you know, again, another draft pick, a lower round draft pick. But I think that when you go look at his tape, I think that he went as low as he did because of competition and because when you watch him play, you see a guy that can get active in the run game, can get out in space. You see a guy that has some nasty to him as well. Like at training camp, I didn't see that much from him in training camp, but I do think that they thought he was a guy that could come in and help boost them physically in the run game. He also had his senior year, he had no holds. Like, this is also a clean player. So I feel like he has value. We just didn't get to see him. So I do think that those guys will maybe be what they're trying to develop into future, guys.
Totally agree with that, because Chuma Edoga was signed to a 1-year deal. So
Yes, ma'am.
he's not signed after this year. Now, he was, I think, one of those bridge kind of guys.
Yes, ma'am.
But let me ask you guys, if you know that Guyton's going to miss multiple weeks, and you know you don't have Awesome Richards, and you know right now it's going to be Chuma Edoga, and then the backup is Matt Willetsko because Nathan's not ready to come back. He's still on IR. Do you leave Tyler Smith at left guard, or do you kick him out to left tackle like you did against Detroit?
This week,
For the next few weeks?
I think you roll with Chuma. I think you roll with Chuma. Chuma is, again, I think he is a left tackle in the NFL. Like he's not super flashy or anything, but he's gonna get the job done. He's not gonna get you killed. Besides some of the communication things we've seen in the past, but other than that, like he's gonna go play the position to the best of his ability, and he's a veteran and he has some savvy to him, and that's just, you respect that. And so to me, he's gonna get the shot because he also too is he's the safer option as well. Given this point, Matt Willetsko, I'm not sure about.
He's the swing.
He's not sure about in the slightest. So, it's going to be Chuma Edoga, and you keep Tyler at left guard to me.
So you're asking if you should switch Tyler Guyton and Tyler Smith and Chuma?
And Chuma,
Do you entertain
Yeah.
the deal? Do you entertain the notion of taking Tyler Smith and having him play left tackle, and Chuma, or I would say TJ Bass, play left guard?
how bad do you want to
Because
win?
that's
How
what
bad
you
do you want to
did.
win? If you trying to,
And I'm trying to win.
if you
I'm trying to win.
If you trying to win,
I'm
then
not interested right now until you're mathematically eliminated. I'm not worried about
Hear me
developing
out.
right now. I'm trying to win.
You
me
better
out.
with Tyler Smith
Hear
at
me
left
out.
guard.
Ooh, I was gonna go opposite. I was
think
gonna
you-
say Tyler Smith. Just hear me out. Try it out. Why not? Not against the Bengals. Well, actually, you could do it against the Bengals.
Well,
This
here's
is
the thing
opportunity to
against
do
the
it.
Bengals, because the Bengals have Trey Hendrickson, who is a fine player, a
was
great
watching
pass
last
rusher.
Which is why I'm saying you can switch Tyler Smith out, left tackle, have Chuma play left guard, only because seeing Chuma Edoga out on the island by himself, he's getting whooped.
His feet.
His feet are slow. Like
It's the feet. I'm telling you, it's the feet. His feet just don't move. And like in the run game, he's not. I don't feel like he's a little clunky, but I don't feel like it's like all terrible. But it's that passing game where his feet, like him getting out of his kick, it's just not there. And again, to be expected. He hasn't played, but he also had a foot injury.
Right.
Yes,
Exactly.
So he has to plan.
A dislocated toe.
Yes, like he has to plan and like be comfortable with that. That's not something that you just gonna be able to do right away.
But then why not to take the not easier way out, but like to take less stress off of the foot, having to do too much work, put him in a left guard.
How much they
I
wanna-
think it'd be TJ Bass.
Yeah, it'll be TJ Bass. I just think I think you could roll with. I think you could. I think you keep Tyler Smith at guard, and I say that just because like I understand that he has value as a flex player, and it's beautiful and it's dope. But I also think that like he needs to be able to flourish at a specific position. You know, like it is a totally different thing, and not only that, he is coming off of an injury. And to me, it's like when you're talking about kicking, being on an island, like you're talking about him switching from doing guard stuff to having to do that. I'm not sure if that's healthy for him. I'm talking about him. He's going to do it because he's that type of worker. But I don't know. I feel like he deserves. We've been flip-flopping him all this time. And I know that you should be able. I know people want to be able to do that in their offensive line, but I'm like, let's think about his development as well. Yeah. So it's going to be Chuma, y'all. And if it gets bad enough, like if Trey over there whooping people, then I would assume they would make the switch. They would put TJ Bass back at left guard, and they would kick Tyler. If it gets rough like that, I think they do that. I'm not sure they do it as the starting game plan.
Yeah, but
She's
if
like,
you're
nah.
well, no. The thing is, if you're even thinking about it, and it is Trey Hendrickson,
Yeah.
so this is a tough matchup against this pass rusher. Don't you want to give him the snaps in practice,
Talking about Chuma?
Tyler? If you're
Tyler.
moving him,
Yeah.
whoever's
as-
playing there.
Quiet as kept, they might be already. They told us that they have told us that they do different rotations and things like that because stuff happens in game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing it in the first place. But I do think, to your point, Christy, I do think that it is a conversation to have about what's and how much you want to win.
Yeah, the other thing is you have an extra day of practice this week with the Monday night game. So not only do you have the mini bye coming off the Thanksgiving Day game, but you essentially have an extra practice this week to acclimate someone.
To acclimate someone.
What do you think, Christy?
I want to know.
I really don't know. And that's why I posed the question. But I'll just say it intrigues me.
It does as well. You just talk with my football brain because I wouldn't even think like that. I thought there was some gone road team out there.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But I'm just kind of canoodling here.
Since we're being creative here, I actually listened into the break yesterday, and I love the fact that they brought up this conversation because now I want to hear y'all's thoughts about Brock Hoffman. You've seen what he's able to do at the right guard position, filling in for Zach Martin. One of the questions that Derek Eagleton, shout out to him, our boss, he had posed the question of, to get the success or to the lead to the Cowboys' success for the rest of the season, do you roll with a healthy Brock Hoffman or do you prefer an injured Zach Martin? And
let me just say that in the NFL, there's hurt and there's injured.
Fact.
Two different things.
That's true.
Injured, you don't play. Hurt, different degrees of hurt.
Yeah.
And a lot of it in the NFL is pain tolerance. And if Zach Martin is healthy enough to play, he plays. That's my thought on it. But you also don't need to rush him back.
absolutely.
And he knows his body better than anybody else. And I think that he whether he's going to play beyond this year or not, probably not. I don't know for sure one way or the other. But I know that if he's healthy enough to play, he wants to play.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think,
I
Aisha?
mean,
Yeah, but.
No. There's no but. I just, I again, this is one of those delicate things in football where this is a tenured, proven, honorable player,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer that you want to respect, and you want, and he, I'm sure, wants to, whether it's finishing his career or not, finish with respect. And unfortunately, he has got hit with the injury bug. I'm always going to say you go with the healthy player because it's just, you could see it even in his movements and some of the things he was doing. Now, if he feels better, if he's hurt, absolutely. If he's injured, you go with the healthier player. Because again, his life is going to continue after football. These gentlemen finish these careers young.
Very true.
So you don't want to, and it's a tough thing. Like, I'm sure, like, he probably want to be out there. I'm sure he does. But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, he got kiddos, he got other stuff going on. Like, if he is going to be making that transition, you want him to do that healthily and that transition to be smooth for him and it not be because he further injured himself because it's so cool to be gritty, make gritsters. No, like, this is a human being. So however they decide to do it, I'll be respectful of it. But I definitely think that Brock Hoffman right now being healthy is the better option if he is.
And this is, again, no slack to Zach Martin. This is a 9-time Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer, like Christy said. I mean, he's had a lot of success with the Cowboys. But I do agree with you just rolling with Brock Hoffman for now, just because you don't want to rush him back. And that's just something that you just don't want to do. But all right, we're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Up next, we're going to break down some Cowboys-Bengals matchup that's going to take place on Monday Night Football. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Tis the season for youth football and dance camps presented by Invisalign. Don't miss your chance to learn from the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders at dance camps on December 27th and former NFL players at football camps on December 23rd and 27th. Celebrate the holidays with the Cowboys. Register today at dallascowboys.com/camps.
Go ahead and register today. Y'all remember Disney Channel? The little
Down.
register. That was my thing.
I need to grow up.
All right. Cowboys host the Cincinnati Bengals in a Monday Night Football matchup. The Cowboys lead the overall series 10-4 against the Bengals. I'm going to go to you, Christy, first because it is Christy's classroom for a second.
Yes,
what do you
ma'am.
remember about the first and only time the Cowboys have played Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I remember it was early in the season, and the one of the punts hit the scoreboard, the overhead digital board, and the officials didn't see it. So I don't, you just remember crazy things like that. But the other thing is, the only time that the Cowboys have played Joe Burrow, the opposing quarterback was Cooper Rush, because this was the game where Dak had gotten hurt in the season opener, and Cooper Rush had to come in, and the Cowboys actually won the game. Brett Maher kicked a 50-yard field goal as time expired, and the Cooper Rush-led Cowboys beat Joe Burrow 20-17, and that was a big game for Noah Brown. That was kind of his coming out party. He had a touchdown catch. He had a big catch in the fourth quarter. What had happened was the Bengals had rallied in midway through the fourth quarter. They scored a touchdown and then a 2-point conversion to tie it up. And then the Cowboys had the ball late, and Cooper Rush let him down close enough for Maher to kick the game winner. So, yeah, that was it was really great because that was the year where Cooper Rush went, 4-1, filling in for Dak. So everyone was so excited. It's like, oh, maybe the season isn't over with Dak being out and missing several weeks. The other thing was the Bengals were coming off. They had gone to the Super Bowl the year before, so they were the defending AFC champs. And the other thing that really stood out in my mind is Joe Burrow. There were so many people down on the field before the game, and instead of watching the Cowboys warming up, everyone was focused on Joe Burrow. The star power that kid has. And so many people wearing purple because every LSU fan in the tri-state area was there. And I think that there's going to be a lot of purple in the stands on Monday as well, people who are big Joe Burrow fans. But it was electric around him. And we're kind of immune to it because back in the days of the triplets or even with Romo or when T.O. or Dez would be out there, and certainly Zeke and Dak, you're used to all that focus being on these Cowboys players. But for it to be on somebody else and just the cool Joe, oh, man.
They love him.
Oh, they do. And it really, I won't say it shocked me, but just the charisma and the excitement, you could really feel it.
I covered him in LSU when they won the national championship that year in 2019, and let me tell you, those people in LSU absolutely
he was
loved
awesome.
Him. He was phenomenal.
The weapons on that team, it was about him, but also too, the guys he had at his disposal was just, come on, that team was unfair.
Yeah, it was That's the perfect way to use that word to describe that team. But no, you look at the Bengals right now, 4-8, fresh off their 6th loss, allowing 25 points or more. The Cowboys walking in as 6-point underdogs at home, even despite winning their first game at home against the Giants. The Bengals have lost 3 straight by a total of 14 points. They've also scored 99 points in their losses.
Yeah, they're very confounding.
Bengals are not a reflection of their record at all.
Yeah, their offense isn't. Their offense is explosive and unpredictable in a sense. I was looking at them briefly last night.
Aisha's insights. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. I'm just commenting. No, not yet. We're not doing that yet. I'm just commenting.
Okay, my bad.
Zach Taylor, their OC, is very creative in how he sets up the run to open up the pass and vice versa, and just the usage of his different players. I was just looking at some of their fronts, how they run the ball, and the creativity in that, where he really gets you looking one way, and it's not super misdirection-y, like a whole bunch of motion at the line of scrimmage. It's it looks like we're going to zone block right here, but we're really about to come around the outside and down block. And I think that Eric Kendricks is a guy, that will be able to read this stuff, but they really sell their fakes too. If you watch them, like, their fakes are legit, where you really think the running back. There was a couple times I was like, dang, why they ain't tackle this man? Oh, that was a good fake. Crying. I be laughing at myself. Sometimes, girl, film be funny. If you watch some of this stuff, you be like, what are you doing right here? Anyway, yes, this offensive line for Cincinnati has gotten a fair share of ridicule and things like that, but they have cleaned up, especially in the last 3 weeks, the amount of pressure and stuff they are allowing. They have some young guys on this offensive line. Orlando Brown is the left tackle for them. He has some experience. He's pretty respected through the league. I'll give him that. Amarius Mims on the right side, a rookie right tackle that a lot of people had a lot of opinions about coming out the draft because of his lack of experience. He is getting his feet wet. Yeah. To say the least.
That's a nice way to say it.
Yes, he's getting his feet wet, just like Tyler Guyton, just like some of these other. This is a learning period time. But I will say, their offense is confusing. Because they also have times in games where they don't look like that team, and that's why they are losing some of these close games. They have lapses of penalties, and there's a couple times, again, these young tackles will get a holding and stuff like that. Very similar to the Cowboys, where they're driving, they're trying to figure things out. But yeah, the weaponry on that side, this Cowboys defense is going to be tested, sister. I know you was looking like, dang.
What's an offensive line from this season that you feel has done similar things that they do as far as the confusion that the Cowboys have faced? And it may not be anybody. I'm just asking.
No. You're right. I'm trying to think.
That they can kind of look back to on the film and say, all right,
let me go. Like a comparison of. Let me see. Let me go look at some of the games they play. I can give you a better. Like, I need to see who y'all been playing.
Okay.
Let me look. It wouldn't be the Giants. No.
Absolutely not.
Please. False.
I mean, Detroit, you could argue, has probably the best offensive line, but I don't know that they really, fool anybody. I mean, they can just, punch you in the mouth.
I would say a close comparison might be New Orleans.
Okay.
New Orleans isn't as, again, I still think New Orleans is more pre-snap, super schmunches.
Yeah.
This is not like that. Their running blocking scheme is very much so just counting on your eyes looking somewhere else, because Burrow is not super mobile. So you can't sell the RPO
but he can be.
Yes, he can run if he needs to be, but that's not mostly his game. They're not trying to sell you the RPO. They're really trying to sell you you think that I'm giving the ball to the tight end right here. No, I'm actually slipping back door to a running back, and your guy is out of his lane. Because they also line up too. They line up to where you're out wide. They try to kick you and get you out the way. So the Cowboys defensive ends are going to have to play smart and not get caught on the outside, because this offensive line wants to get to the second level. They want to get to the outside. They're not a like run at you straight up the gut type offensive line. No, they want to be able to attack you on the outside, and also too they use that to help their pass too, which is lethal. Also, Lord have mercy. Who playing corner this week? Who playing corner this week?
We won't know. Listen.
Hopefully, Deron Bland. Hopefully, Trayvon
But
Diggs.
even Deron's on a snap count.
Baby, I
still,
talked myself into some stress. Stop asking me questions. Ask Christy.
Well, now, here's the thing. The offense is not the problem for the Bengals. They're 4-8, but they are one of the top scoring teams in the league. They're averaging 28 points per game. Okay, I'm rounding up. It's 27.9. Here's the thing. They're averaging 27.9 points per game. That's wonderful. The problem is their defense is giving up 28.3. Their defense is surrendering way too many points. In fact, I'm going to do. Let's use 33 points as the mark. Yeah, I mean that is tremendous. If you score 33 points in a game, fantastic. The Cowboys, the Bengals have done it 6 times in 12 games. Half their games, they have reached at least 33 points, and they are 2-4. They have lost 4 games when scoring 34 points.
That's crazy.
The rest of the league, only 53 games. Ooh. Everybody else combined, all 31 other teams have reached 33 points. Only 53 times. They are 52-1.
Girl.
The Cowboys have reached 33 points or more only twice. Back in week 1 at Cleveland, the road win, and by the way, part of that came from Kevontae Turpin's punt return, and then that crazy ending in Washington 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, whenever it was, with all the points in the fourth quarter. That was the 2 kickoff returns.
So you telling me the Cowboys got to score points?
So I'm telling you that yes, Kevontae Turpin, and the Cowboys are averaging 20.9 points, barely over 20 points a game. And if you take away the overshown interception return for a touchdown, if you take away Turpin's 2, the punt and the kickoff return, and if you take away Wanye Thomas's kickoff return, it's more like 18 points a game. So, luckily, these games aren't played on paper, because on paper, it ain't looking good.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, goodness. And here's the thing is, like, the Cowboys have had trouble in the red zone. They have gotten there. They just make mistakes. They're getting trips down there. They're just settling for 3.
Or they go away from what's working.
Yeah, this is not the week to do that. I actually want to go get a look at their red zone defense. I'm looking at the wrong thing.
I'm dead. No, you look at Joe Burrow. I mean, you can't say anything about their offense because Joe Burrow, first in passing yards per game, passing touchdowns, third in QBR, fourth in passer rating. I mean, just mic drop like that.
Yeah, and it's not like they're playing from behind and he's amassing a lot of numbers in garbage time. It's not that at all.
No, these
are very
close.
competitive games and finding creative ways to give it up at the end and allow that Pittsburgh game on Sunday. Man, if you have the NFL Game Pass, go back and watch it. That's a heck of a fun game to watch, unless you're a Bengals fan, because there have just been so many games this year where they should have it, and they're not killing themselves with penalties. They're like the 3rd least penalized team in the league, or 2nd least penalized team in the league.
It's definitely top 5.
It's the timing of them at times for me, and like just some of the there's times I was watching the Steelers game where as far as the defense, they're communicating so late into the clock. Like, I just think, I don't know if they have gotten some new things going on there, like if they're a new coach, because I feel like since these
Anarumo's been there for their defensive coordinator has been there.
And that's why I'm confused, because Cincy's defense, I felt like had some discipline to them for a while. Like, them trips to the Super Bowl, yes, like they were scoring points, but also too, that defense was coming away with takeaways and playing tough for them. And so I wonder like what changes have happened particularly, or if there's been any changes, because the offense is doing pretty much all that they can. Like, you can't, they have lost 3 of their 4 last games. They have averaged 35 points in those games. What?
Yeah.
How's that possible? Like, and that's why the whole thing is a bit confusing, and not confusing in the sense of like, when I watch their defense, they have guys. They're not some just without talent defense. It's just, you can get them, like, when you talk about the discipline side of things, like, their eye discipline at times is atrocious.
Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think that with the way that this defense, the Cowboys defense has been playing the past couple of weeks, is enough to slow down this Bengals offense?
Who's playing?
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Christy,
Who's playing in the secondary?
Yeah.
I mean, now there's parts of their offensive line that you can attack. I do think this Dallas offensive line, and the pro about this Cincy offense is that they rely on passing the ball. Like, they will run the ball situationally. I'm not saying that that's not something that they do, but they have a lot of weapons to pass the ball to, and they understand that's their strength. That's fine. Mm-hmm. That your strength on your defense right now is your pass rush. Mm-hmm. There's not that many strengths. That is one of them. You can't get after the quarterback. So I feel like it does kind of not even out, but you do give yourself a shot with being able to pass rush against these gentlemen. I'm a little, I ain't even gonna lie, I'm like Christy, I'm a little stressed out about it because they can get going very quickly with how they can put up points as well.
Chase Brown, their running back. What does he do well? What doesn't he do well?
What you got, Christy?
Well, Zach, he's actually their backup, but then their starter went on IR, and so, man, he was running free at times. And against Pittsburgh's really, that's a tough team to run against at times, and so I think he's impressive.
Yeah.
Don't know how much they're going to work to him throwing the ball out of the backfield, but man, he's one of these guys that in space he can be kind of scary.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was looking at. Like, again, we haven't got a huge sample size of him. I feel like he's played well considering, and I don't think that. I think they do like using him as a receiver, though, and that's one of the things I was talking about is the fact that, like, he's shifty in the open field. I like the way that he accelerates. That's one of my favorite things about running backs is, like, when they accelerate, because it is a timing thing to know. I think he understands when to accelerate, and that terrifies me. But I will say, I think he kind of unlocks some of that for them is the receiving thing. Yeah. And so they've been using him out the backfield, setting up screens for him, doing stuff like that, but they really are selling play action with him as well, and it works. Yeah. Because they think people understand that this is a guy that can be damaging to an extent in the open field. This is Chase Brown. This is Sidney Brown's brother. That just hit me. Sidney Brown is I think he's a safety for the Philadelphia Eagles. He and his brother played together at Illinois.
That's dope.
That defense was stellar that year. Really hard-hitting defense. And that just reminded me. Sorry.
I
met them at the combine. They're very
really
kind. Yes, very kind. It just hit me like, I know this human's face because I only see him with their helmets on.
I don't think he'll be kind on Monday.
He's probably not. But how do you think the Cowboys have defended the run as of late? It's not perfect,
a
but
lot
how
better.
do you feel about it?
So much better.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
So I'm not as terrified.
But it goes back to what you're saying about the small sample size. When you haven't seen much of what he can really do, that it's unscouted looks.
Yeah.
This Cowboys defense.
I mean, he has 6 TDs on the year. I mean, I don't think that's a small feat. Yeah. But I will say the thing about it though that we're not talking about is, you guys mentioned it before, is Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
It's his ability. Like, the one thing the Cowboys have not done well, and they haven't had to deal with too many mobile quarterbacks as of late, but like super shifty mobile quarterbacks, they are not containing well. And so, to me, like, to y'all's point earlier, Joe Burrow is a guy, like, the footwork in the pocket is insane right now. He is sliding, stepping up in the pocket,
making throws
seeing
on the
that
run.
field, seeing that field open up and throwing dimes. Yeah. So for you, when you talk about the secondary being compromised, it's also like, these, baby, are y'all gonna play man? Y'all gonna play zone?
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's gonna. Oh, Jesus. Because if it's man,
they'll try and mix it up. I'm sure.
Girl, if it's man,
yeah,
and your back's turned to him, he's taking off.
Right.
Yeah. So I wonder if you do say, DeMarvion, I need you to keep an eye on this human, because that has been a problem for the Cowboys. I feel like even in some of these games, like that the quarterbacks are just slipping through.
Yeah.
It happened last week, if I'm not mistaken. Just slipping through and getting big chunk yardage and sliding all happy.
You saw
and
that from
stuff.
Jaden Daniels.
Yes,
A lot.
sliding all happy and stuff. Drew Lock did it too. Like that was the big
touchdown
touchdown
run,
was
yeah.
the fact that they lost contain and he slipped up there. So it's like obviously be cognizant of Chase Brown and what he can do in the open field, but that gazelle over there, dang, all tall
You're
and
sick.
stuff. He do look like a gazelle.
I'm crying. All right, we're going to take our second break. We got to go in a few minutes. Up next, we'll be still talking about this defense. We're going to stick to the pass rush and see the opportunities that they will have against this Bengals offensive line. We'll be right back with more Girls Talk, Boys Talk.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Cowboys Nation, Amanda Foster has been named your 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan for her dedication to the team and spicing up the game. Vote for Amanda to be named the ultimate NFL Fan of the Year at NFL.com/Fan of the Year. Vote for Amanda.
We love Amanda on the show. Okay.
Vote
All right.
for Amanda.
Vote for Amanda. Woo!
Oh, woo!
I was trying to.
NFL.com/Fan of the Year.
There we go. All right. The Cowboys have been +2 in turnover differential. Ooh, that word gets me every time. The last 2 games, what opportunities will be there to create takeaways for this defense against Cincinnati?
Lord, man, that man don't be turning the ball over like that.
I was going to say forced fumbles, maybe.
That's the
on
only
running backs.
way you're gonna get it to me, because his accuracy, y'all. He throwing that ball where only his guys can get it.
Yeah.
He is playing such good football.
Yeah, and the thing is, you talk about with the running, and you're right. You know, if it's man-to-man or you're not disciplined with your, controlling the gaps on your pass rush, it can hurt you down the field. But really, it's more with the intent to pass the ball, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so they talk about in the NFL about 2.3 seconds. And so if you affect a quarterback with a pass rush and he's moving around in the pocket or moving around outside and buying time, then that's very difficult for the defensive backs. I mean, you've got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and these guys that you're chasing around, just trying to stick with. And for beyond 2.3 seconds, good luck with that. So that's what's worrisome. So the thing is, the Bengals are middle of the pack in terms of sacks allowed. They've allowed 30. That's right in the middle of the NFL. So you can get to them, but you can't. In terms of just pinning your ears back and going, you still have to maintain that discipline of the rush lanes.
Who do you feel like will get the most pressures?
Probably Micah. And
Aside from Micah, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, just because I think that they would move him around, right, and give him some opportunities there. Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing Demo, send DeMarvion on some blitzes.
I would be looking to attack. Yes, ma'am, I agree. I would be looking to attack their interior. Like I was talking to you guys about before. I think that Brown and Mims are pretty good at keeping up that edge and keeping it walled off for Burrow. I think that is a huge reason why he's playing well, y'all. Just be honest with you, because when he was struggling, it was a lot of that pressure and stuff was coming from the tackle position. So now he can just sit there and he can see when that pressure's coming in and he doesn't mind. Like when I'm watching him, I see him feel the pressure coming from the middle because he can escape to the edges, and he also knows his tackles are going to go out and run with him. Yeah. That gives him confidence. So I do think that Dallas should attack the interior of this offensive line if that's where they're going to get it. I think that's where they're going to make most of their money. Because also, too, we didn't get into it, but the Bengals tight ends are willing to block on the outside as well.
Yeah, they can help on the edges.
They're very willing blockers. Not super flashy, not super fancy. Eric All, I'm sorry, what happened to you? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Eric All is one of my favorite tight ends in this draft. Came back, tore his ACL, came back, got drafted, was killing it his first few weeks of the football season, tears his ACL again a few weeks ago. My heart goes out to him. He's a heck of a player. But their tight ends are very willing to block. So I do think attack the middle of what they got going on.
So this needs to be one of the games of the year for Osa then.
And Mozzie.
And in fairness, we've seen Osa Odigizua start, he's taking an uptick anyway in pressures and stuff, but you're starting to see more of his explosiveness because Mozzie Smith's holding it down. I'm telling you, he's playing far better football, but that's also going to allow Zimmer to do some of the blitzing up the middle that he wants to do, because I think that's the best way to do it, because this guy's going to escape, and he's going to make you pay. That's one thing I like about him. He's competitive. He's sweet in the face, but he wants to make you pay. He's like, I'm just here, I'm just a cool guy with my shades and stuff, and then he sees you in coverage tripping, and he's going to make you pay.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the Cowboys make the Bengals pay
You
on
think
Monday.
they are? You think they are?
We gonna hope so. Only a girl can hope. All right, this has been fun. A great day on the show, but we gotta wrap. For Aisha Morrison, Christy Scales, and Nicole Hutchison, we'll be back here tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!